This is IWM on the 5-minute time frame. Here are your price targets for Thursday. We ended the day at $217.74, down 1.56%. To the north side takes us back to the middle of the trend. And in this situation, resistance and a potential take profit area at 218.63. VWAP is 218.79. Above that, at 2 standard deviations and another level of resistance and a potential take profit area, 220, 220.71, and 221.37. To the south side, negative 2 standard deviations takes us to 217.27. Another level of support and a potential buy-in area, 216.58. And at negative 4 standard deviations, 215.89. Looking left, we see that this gap closed out to the downside, taking us to roughly 217.76 where we are. This closed out, we went up and then back down again. So just in line here. And we are at basically support. So I will anticipate a little bit of a bounce as people buy the dip. But that is no longer a threat to our account to the south side. And this one closed out as well to the downside at, let me get this out of the way, 219.82. But you can see that we are still in a downward channel on the 5-minute time frame. Obviously flip it over to the different time frames and it'll give you different buy and sell signals. But we also have this gap to contend with, and that could take us down if we continue our path. That could begin at negative 2 standard deviations on Tuesday of next week. But the likelihood, of this just retracing here and then back down again is pretty great. And that would take us down to 204.30. And let's take a look at some of the other gaps. So we gapped down and we touched. I'll have to clean this up. This touched, and that looks like it touched, but it did not technically. And I am a technical trader, so we touched here to the upside, taking us to 208.83-ish, and this gap is still in play, taking us down to 209, it looks like. Oh, wait. No, it already touched. Look at that. All right, so this is no longer a threat to our account to the downside. Done. That was roughly at 204.69.70-ish. And look at here. All we did was we retraced a pattern, and then these gaps closed out that I talked about previously. So there we go. This is the next gap to deal with at 211.61-ish. And on the daily time frame, very quickly, all right, we are right here to the north side on the daily. In the bigger picture, 233.32, and back at the middle of the trend, and support 215.69, and then below that, roughly 198.40. I was tracking Chris Sain's ticker when he talked about this. I didn't mark the date. But anyway, he talked about it when it was 205, and that is right about there. So maybe I looked at it here. So it fell down, and then we made our way back up again and just grinding along the middle of the trend, and then fell back down. And so we're just grinding along here. I'm going to delete this because I didn't mark it out. And on the daily, still in an upward channel, fortunately. Now, the next one I want to go over is, let's go over NVDA. I have not done this one in a while. since I'm on the daily time frame, let's see if I can make some sense of this at 123.51. I know it's hard to see, but it lines up with this middle of the trend that I have marked out. Basically right there. That's a previous line. But to the north side takes us to 127.54, 149.73, and to the south side on the daily, 105.49. You can bet it will be eaten up alive if it ever makes it down to this level again. And we do have a gap to the south side, 85.97, and then 67.75 as well. So look at this, we just retraced back down here, and then there, and then we're just slowly grinding up. Let's take a look at this on the 5. Oops. Oh, I got to talk about this in a second. The prices of eggs. It's ridiculous again. First, NVDA on the 5. Let me mark this out. 123.51. We are basically at the middle of the trend. VWAP is 123.61. Okay, officially the middle is 124.02. $127.18, $128.74, and should we be so lucky as to get to here, but don't hold your breath, on Thursday, $130.32. This might be the outer band for later in the week or possibly into the following week if we continue our upward trend. $120.78, $119.27, and roughly $117.60. Note the sell-off at resistance, the buy-in at support. Many levels in between, but these are the clear ones if you're playing the linear. Right, and then the next one I want to go over is Cal Maine. And the reason that is because I was at the grocery store, Walmart, and I heard these two guys very upset talking about what happened to the price of eggs. They shot up all of a sudden. This was last weekend. And I almost wanted to say to them, yeah, it ran up because of COVID. It ran up because of Bidenomics. And now it's up again, and I don't know why. So I saw this article here. Egg prices are spiking again, and here's why. Oh. I talked about the bird flu, not in this article. Well, yeah, maybe, sorry, down here. If the bird flu infections continue, prices could keep rising this fall and through the holiday season. But they're not as expensive as they were in 2023, but it's still out of control, okay? Out of control, people. It's like, what the heck is happening? We need to get these people out of office. We need prices to come back in line. It's about the economy, and people are ticked off. So Cal Maine is the biggest egg producer in the U.S., owning more than 75% more egg-producing hens than the next largest company, according to the publication Watt Poultry. Egg prices spiked in late 2022 and early this year as consumers paid 70% more for eggs in January 2023 compared to 2022. And then this article here, Cal Maine Foods, the nation's biggest egg producer, experienced a 7-fold year-over jump in quarterly profits in the 3-month period ending February 25th, according to its earnings report, a jarring revelation into how the company cashed in on soaring egg prices. Yeah. And where does it say? I don't know where I saw that, but talked about the dramatic rise in egg prices came amid a nationwide outbreak of avian flu. Remarkably, none of Cal Maine's hens have tested positive for the disease. Egg buyers have begun to experience some relief with egg prices dropping in February for the first time in 5 months. Well, it's spiked up again, and it's got people hot, like myself, because I did buy some. And then brown eggs are even more expensive, which is what I bought. So let's go over this. Now I've stopped digressing. Let's get into the technicals. So we ended the day at 73.14, down 2.35%. And VWAP is 73.59. The middle of the trend and the baseline, 73.98, 75.10, 75.64, 76.19, and to the south side, 72.89, 72.34, and 71.78. I think what we're doing is just basically retracing back to this level, I have a feeling. Still down, we're still going down on the 5-minute. The trend is down. And the 1-year price target on this puppy is now 70. Oh, where did I see it? It was, oh, that's the old price target, 62, which we have met. And then after that, well, it doesn't say, so that's where I'm going to give it to you on the daily time frame. So if they don't tell you because we've hit it, you can kind of predict where we might be headed by doing your own technical analysis. So we are here. So on the daily, 75.13, 77.85, and 80.44 if we should be so lucky, and the middle of the trend, 69.90, 64.66, 62.02, and 59.36. On the daily, note the bounce here at support, sell off at resistance. If we're going down and we hit this line, this turns into support and a bounce, and then a sell off at resistance. And the cycle repeats itself. But on the daily, still going upward. All right, that does it for me. Well, you know what? Let's just look at Palantir really quickly. And then I'm going to stop. Well, here we are. We are at resistance. Look at this on the daily, and we're starting to crack. That I just use as support and resistance. So to the north side, should we be so lucky as to get to the next leg, 38.28 and 41.05. And then to the south side, 35.60 and then 30.24, and that will take out this gap. So we could be falling to this level for a break and a pause and just kind of a slow grind. But we are at resistance on the daily. Expect more pullbacks. All right. Oops. So to the north side, 38.05, 38.57, and 39.10. VWAP is at 36.77. See if I can grab that. 35.93, 35.39, and 34.85. All right, that does it for me. Thanks so much for watching and have a great trading day.